Our project is called footballscout.com. So let me say a few words about it. Just a quick note, I'd like to focus more on the model. So those of you who are teased enough to see the platform, it's really unique. Please feel free to contact me after the presentation. So let me start with a few words. Excuse me, guys. Let me start with a few words about our team. It's still a very small team, but a team comprised of very passionate people, passionate about sports. As Max said, former football players. Both me and my partner Stilian are former football players. Of course, what we are famous for here on the local market is for building probably the largest sports online media in the region. So let me give you a few words about the playground that we're going to play our game on, because it's really a lot more interesting than the founder story, I think. When it comes down to football, there's 270 million people playing organized sports, and this is the data according to FIFA. It's 4% of the world's population. Basically, it's really a severe competition for talents when they try to make a career in football. In addition, there's 1.7 million teams who are competing for those talents, and right in the middle sits the very fine layer of football agents who only in Europe eat up a big fat cake of 400 million euros every year. So two other facts that I want to share with you just to draw some more lines to the picture. 73% of the world's players are located outside of Europe, and they're trying to make a career in European football teams. On the other hand, over 40% of the managers are focused only on the 5 biggest European markets. So already here, you have this big geographical bottleneck. When it comes down to the actual scouting process, the picture doesn't get much nicer. Actually, there's heavy logistics involved, and the value chain is quite long. Actually, in football, it looks more like a food chain than a value chain. So imagine it all starts with the little Johnny who is trying to make a career in football, or maybe little Sergio who is living in Argentina and he wants to find a team in England. So to do this, he needs to find an agent to send his CV, statistics, photos, videos, everything. So his agents will be able to evaluate them and pass it along the value chain to a UK football agent. After that, the UK football agent is going to pass his recommendations and again all the data and all the videos associated with the player to a coach in a UK football team. So again, you see there's a big shipping cost involved, also a big time cost involved, because all those participants need to be able to evaluate this player. And on top of the food chain, there's always one last step, and this is the football president who has to approve the transfer. So it's really time and money wasted throughout the whole value chain. And on top of that, if you consider that for every agent, there's 44,000 players worldwide sitting and waiting to be discovered, you can imagine how narrow the bottleneck really is. So in order to disrupt this industry, what we needed to do is to find a way to reduce this bottleneck effect. And we think we found the solution, but we not only found it, but actually built it. And we created a professional web-based network for soccer players, coaches, agents, and teams. It's a network that sits right in the middle of all those participants involved in the football industry. May it be agents, coaches, parents, high school players, etc. And this problem is solving a lot of problems for those participants. Could be the crowd factor, because it's you and another 270 million. May it be the time factor that is involved in the whole evaluation process, or the cost factor, which is related to shipping. And as a matter of fact, a Brazilian agency with 5,000 players is spending over $300,000 annually just on shipping. Of course, initially when we started the product, we wanted to create sort of a profile organizer, but we went much beyond that. We added functionalities which open the doors for totally new business opportunities for the players, for the agents, and everyone involved. Features such as portfolio trackers, reminders, transfer alerts, etc. So those of you willing to see them, I can showcase them after the presentation. In terms of model validation, we talked to a lot of football agents in Bulgaria, and the biggest compliment we received is once we talked to one of the youngest around. 2 days later, he called us and said, "Guys, I really like your idea. I want to come and work for you." So we consider this as a mode of validation. In terms of traction, where we currently stand, we have a deal in place with the Bulgarian Football Union, which is related to all the talents that they scout for the national football team. We have 1,100 registered club players from Bulgaria, and we also have only one, but let me say this is the most successful coach in a foreign country, China. And because he's the first one, he promised us to provide us with a lot of contacts in this area. We managed to do a few media partnerships with companies who are organizing events for kids, such as Cola and Gazprom and Danone. And we also have the emails of all licensed FIFA football scouts in the world. But what we're going to do with these emails is highly classified. In terms of next steps, in May we are launching a PR campaign in our own resources in Serbia, Russia and Bulgaria, which will be followed up by a viral campaign through Facebook. And in June, we are considering to launch an affiliate model which will enable some of our partners to profit from doing business with us. So let me sum it up. Our business model is simple, it's technology driven, it's not labor intensive, it has the potential to generate cash from the start. And our goal is also quite simple, but it's very ambitious and I think it's achievable, is to become the worldwide communication standard in football. And to do this, we need, first of all, your interest, we need additional investment, and we need also potential strategic partnership. Feel free to reach to us after these presentations are over. Thank you so much.